panic inside, families visiting, and staff running for cover. Capitol Police opening fire, and we're on the scene tonight. Breaking news, the urgent new bulletin at this hour, the school on lockdown, the community on alert, an escaped murderer on the run. The war of words tonight, Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and who really started this over their wives. The new accusation, and Hillary Clinton pivots to Trump, issuing a new warning tonight. The extreme weather hitting parts of this country in the east, the wind fears from Washington, D.C. all the way up to Boston, up to 50 miles per hour. In New York City tonight, cranes ordered locked down after that deadly accident. And surrounded, the tense moments at sea, the U.S. Coast Guard moving in and making a stunning discovery.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Monday night. And we begin with several developing stories at this hour. First, the incredibly tense scene unfolding in the nation's capital today as parents with their children on spring break were visiting. A man passing through security pulls out a gun in the visitor center at the Capitol building. Capitol Police opened fire in return. It all happened after the man, who was known to authorities, pulled out that weapon. Shots rang out. The building quickly evacuated visitors flooding into the streets. Guards urging frightened families to hurry away. The faces of the children throughout the Capitol terrified. While inside the building, this image tonight, staff sheltering in place for a time, barricading that door with a table and chair. The whole time outside, armed police on guard. ABC's David Curley on the scene, leading us off tonight.
The halls of the Capitol erupted. Visitors ordered to flee as shots ring out. Hill workers told to protect themselves. Catherine Leff was in that crowd.
All of a sudden, it's like hell broke loose. I mean, just police everywhere with guns drawn, people running and screaming, and people just, dropping to the ground.
The entire Capitol compound on lockdown. Police with guns drawn, doors in the Capitol barricaded. This is the east side of the Capitol. We're flanked by the Supreme Court and the Library of Congress. This incident happened right in front of the Visitors Center, which is just past that van with the blinking lights underneath the stairs. In that Visitors Center, where those hoping to enter the Capitol have to be screened, at 2:39 this afternoon, a man approached the conveyor belt and screening machine when suddenly he has what appears to be a gun.
The individual drew what appeared to be a weapon and pointed it at officers. An officer fired and struck the suspect.
The suspect down while officers order everyone out. In addition to the suspect being taken down, an innocent bystander, a woman about 40 years old, received minor injuries. The suspect, who was rushed to a hospital for surgery, is known to Capitol Hill police. He is Larry Dawson, who was charged after an outburst last October in the House chamber. By 3:40, the lockdown lifted, just an hour after that frightening shooting in such a public place.
Sounds kind of scary.
Yeah, it was, but we're all okay, so that's a good thing.
And David Curley with us live tonight from Washington. David, you reported this man was known to authorities, and today was a big day for families and their children in the Capitol. The Easter egg roll over at the White House a short time earlier.
Yeah, just down Pennsylvania Avenue, they handed out 35,000 tickets, David. It's one of the biggest days at the White House. There was concern at the White House. They never did lock it down as this situation went through the day.
David Curley leading us off tonight. David, thank you. We're going to turn now to an urgent bulletin just issued and the manhunt tonight for an escaped murderer in Ohio. This evening, a warning for students at a nearby college to stay inside. Police say the brazen killer may be armed, and ABC's Eva Pilgrim now on a possible sighting just a short time ago.
Tonight, an Ohio college is on lockdown as the search continues for an escaped prisoner, a murderer now on the run.
Considering the storms that passed through the night, we suspect the escapee may seek shelter.
58-year-old John Modi has served 12 years of an 18-year sentence for murder, robbery, and escape. He was convicted of killing a woman in Cleveland in 2003. Officials at the Southeastern Correctional Facility say guards realized Modi was missing at the 11 p.m. head count on Sunday. The escape forcing nearby Hocking College in Nelsonville to close all campuses today, asking students to stay inside. Nearby residents also on high alert.
We're going to be making sure all of our doors and windows are locked.
Just a few hours ago, authorities putting out a bulletin that Modi may be driving with two women, one black and one white, in a gold Jeep Grand Cherokee. David, police asking anyone who sees Modi to avoid contact. They say he may have cuts from razor wire and he is considered armed and dangerous. David?
Eva Pilgrim tonight. Eva, thank you. Now to breaking news in the battle between Apple and the FBI. As you know, at the center of that fight is whether Apple should help the FBI break into the iPhone used by the San Bernardino killers. Well, tonight, the FBI says they have now hacked into that phone themselves. So will they drop the case against Apple? Here's ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas now.
Tonight, the Justice Department has revealed that the FBI has now successfully retrieved the data stored on the San Bernardino terrorist's iPhone and therefore no longer requires the assistance from Apple required by a court order. They had been in a fight with Apple refusing to unlock the phone. Tim Cook telling David just weeks ago,
I want to get to what the FBI director, James Comey, has said. He said it's not about a slippery slope. It's about, quote, 14 people who were slaughtered and many more had their lives ruined. Maybe the phone holds the clue to finding more terrorists, maybe it doesn't. But we can't look the survivors in the eye and ourselves if we don't follow any possible lead out there. Do you understand where he's coming from?
I do understand where he's coming from. And this is an incredibly complex issue. To place a backdoor in the iPhone, we believe it does put hundreds of millions of customers at risk.
And so Pierre Thomas with us live from our Washington bureau tonight. Pierre, did the FBI do this on their own without Apple, and will it now drop its case against Apple?
David, the FBI director told us last week that an outside source, not Apple, had come forward offering a new way to crack open the killer's iPhone. Tonight, we now know the hack was successful, and the Justice Department has just filed a motion asking a federal judge to drop the case.
Right.
David?
Pierre Thomas, who's been following this case. Pierre, thank you. Now to a developing headline at this hour about what appears to be a massive cyber attack that could affect American patients across this country. The MedStar hospital chain and doctors' offices around Washington, D.C. paralyzed by hackers tonight. Emergency room computer screens gone dark. Doctors and nurses unable to log onto their computer network. Hundreds of thousands of patients in that network. Medical treatments are being written out by hand. The FBI is on the case tonight. Now to the race for the White House and to the war of words as the candidates now battle for Wisconsin. Ted Cruz blasting Donald Trump tonight for taking aim at his wife, he says. Trump standing firm, going on a radio show today with a host who has acknowledged he's not for Trump. It got tense. ABC's Jonathan Carl with the exchange. And Hillary Clinton tonight, pivoting to Trump with her new warning.
Ted Cruz in Wisconsin today.
Thank you both for your support.
Says this is the state where he will stop Donald Trump.
It is neck and neck, and together we're going to win.
After dropping in on the lunch crowd at the Altoona family restaurant, Cruz unloaded on Trump.
He yells and screams and curses and attacks people and threatens lawsuits and attacks their wives and attacks their families.
Trump got an earful from one of Wisconsin's top conservative talk radio hosts, a Cruz supporter, after Trump defended his attacks on Cruz's wife, Heidi, saying that Cruz started the war over wives, something the senator denies.
He didn't start it. He started it. If he didn't start it, it would have never happened. Wow. Nothing like this would have ever happened.
We're not on a playground. We're running for president of the United States.
I agree with that 100%. Right. And my views are not playground views.
And those Twitter attacks on Cruz's wife? We asked Trump if he'd do that kind of thing as president of the United States.
Would you be doing late-night Twitter wars with world leaders who insulted you?
It's a great way of communicating as far as I'm concerned, but I'm not going to be doing it very much as president.
But it's exactly that kind of behavior that tonight has Hillary Clinton warning about Trump's judgment and the kind of justices that he would name to the Supreme Court.
As scary as it might be, ask yourselves, what kind of justice would a President Trump appoint? As you know, he believes Muslims should be banned from entering this country because of their faith. What would that mean for a nation founded on religious freedom?
But tonight, something Trump and Clinton could actually bond over. Trump's daughter Ivanka gave birth over the weekend, giving the billionaire his 8th grandchild, Theodore.
John Carl with us live tonight. John, you also asked Donald Trump about something else, a petition to allow people to carry guns into the Republican convention. What did he say to that, and where does that petition stand tonight?
David, that petition got nearly 50,000 signatures in just a few days. Trump told me that he would take a look at it, that nobody is a bigger proponent of gun rights than he is. But today, the Secret Service said no, under no circumstances will anybody at the convention have guns besides law enforcement.
John Carl on the campaign tonight. John, thank you. Now to the extreme weather in parts of this country and a major concern tonight about fierce winds from Washington, D.C. all the way up to Boston, set to hit this evening. In New York, in fact, a warning to lock down the cranes. It comes after a system already hit parts of Kentucky. Families there cleaning up tonight after a confirmed EF2 tornado, winds up to 115 miles an hour. ABC's Gio Benitez tonight on the next threat, those winds and the deadly accident that had authorities here in New York not taking any chances.
Tonight, with New York City bracing for powerful winds, officials trying to avoid this. It was less than 2 months ago when that massive crane came crashing down.
Oh, it broke!
Officials were in the process of securing it when it collapsed, killing one person, injuring several more. Wind advisories stretch from D.C. to Boston. Gusts could reach 50 miles per hour through tomorrow. The weather in the Northeast, remnants of a severe Sunday in the Midwest. Tornado sirens going off in Crofton, Kentucky.
Holy moly.
And hail falling hard in Harrisburg, Illinois. And David, with so many cranes in New York, officials are demanding that they all be secured by today. Inspectors are going to be doing random searches at construction sites like this one. They're not taking any chances. David?
Gio, thank you. Overseas tonight and to Brussels now, and major new developments as they follow the trail of terror. Until now, we had only seen a still image from surveillance inside the airport. Well, tonight, the video from the moments before the airport blast. Police now releasing this video amid the urgent hunt for the man wearing the hat, still on the loose tonight. As this evening, we learned that the death toll is now rising and there was an arrest, but that man has now been set free, a judge saying there was not enough evidence. ABC's Alex Marquardt begins with that new airport video from Belgium.
Tonight, a call for help from Belgian authorities, releasing that new video to help find the man in the black hat, one of the most wanted men in Europe, seen here walking calmly through the airport departures hall moments before the blast went off. This weekend, it seemed police were close to cracking the case, charging this man, Faisal Chefou, with terrorist murder in connection with the Brussels attacks. Chefou calls himself a freelance journalist and has been detained in the past for trying to recruit refugees for jihad. A senior Belgian official on Twitter calling him an extremist jihadi horror. But today, Chefou was released, the judge saying there isn't enough evidence to hold him. In doing so, likely conceding that Chefou is not the man in the black hat. We tracked him down today as he came home from jail to his mother's apartment.
Monsieur Chefou? Oui. Je m'appelle Alex avec ABC News. On peut vous parler? Venez 2 secondes.
He invites us to come upstairs. But at the door, realizing we were reporters, he angrily shouted at us to get out. Even free, Chefou still faces multiple terror charges, and police are dealing with the reality that the man in the black hat is still out there.
And Alex Marquardt joining us now live from Brussels. Alex, a full-on manhunt for that man in the hat remains, but he's not the only one police are looking for tonight.
That's right, David. All across Europe, anti-terror officials stepping up their crackdown. Over the weekend, we saw arrests in Holland, Italy, and here in Belgium. At least one arrest in connection with the Brussels attacks, others for potential plots in the works. Police really worried tonight that they need to prevent further attacks.
Alex Marquardt in Belgium for us again tonight. Alex, thank you. Next to that other terror attack, Pakistan tonight, still reeling from an especially ruthless Easter Sunday bombing. A suicide bomber targeting Christians on the holy day, detonating a suicide vest at a park full of women and children. At least 70 people were killed, 300 wounded. A Taliban faction which publicly supports ISIS has now claimed responsibility. From Syria tonight, a closer look at the damage to the historic city of Palmyra. Syrian troops now taking it back after 10 months of ISIS occupation. Look at the aerial images tonight showing scorched patches of earth, but also many of its ancient buildings still intact. Inside the museum there, some exhibits knocked over or removed, but much more remains than they thought. Back in this country and from Georgia now, the governor bowing to pressure from big businesses, vetoing a religious liberty bill that opponents say would have allowed Georgians to discriminate against gay and transgender people. But tonight, conservatives